Peace and welcome. Today we have oddly familiar episode 55, and in this episode we will focus on games that rearrange classical pieces. Most classical music is in the public domain, so it's a free and effective way to have music in the game that people will recognize. So let's get this underway. Number 10 is used multiple times in Tetris. Here is the Fanfare Victory 1 and 2. Another game we have found this in is Parodius. And you may also recognize it from Super Mario RPG, a theme titled Bandit's Way. All of those are inspired by Trepak from the Nutcracker. The score to Nutcracker is one of Tchaikovsky's most famous compositions. I think most people have heard it, and even more so if you watch a lot of movies, especially Christmas movies. For example, Home Alone has a theme that is nearly identical. Selections from the Nutcracker were first performed in March 1892. The ballet debuted in December of that same year. This was the last ballet that Tchaikovsky would work on, as he passed away 1 year later in November of 1893. Number 9 is used in the Roadrunner arcade game. As well as Ren and Stimpy, Stimpy's Invention, the bike theme. And used again in Aero the Acrobat, Circus Act 1. All of these take inspiration from Sabre dance. From another ballet, this 1942 piece is one of the composer's best known and most recognizable work. He apparently felt that its popularity, quote-unquote, deflected attention from his other works. In 1948, the Sabre dance became a hit in the United States. Due to its popularity, Newsweek suggested that 1948 could be called the Khachaturian year in the United States. That year, 3 versions of the Sabre dance reached number 1 in the Billboard best-selling records by classical artists. Number 8 comes from the Little Ninja Brothers on the NES, the field event theme. You may also recognize that from Super Mario Land on the Game Boy, the Invincible theme. And it's used on multiple versions of the Lemmings. Here it is on the Super Nintendo, the Stage 1 theme. All of those are inspired by Can Can, from Orpheus in the Underworld. from the comic opera first performed in Paris, France on October 21st, 1858. This was Offenbach's first full-length opera. The original 1858 production was a box office success, and the 1874 revival broke box office records. Then came the 1980s, where it was turned into Mario's Invincible theme and the first stage in the Lemmings. To this day, it remains one of his most often performed operas. Number 7, from the Addams Family, track 6. Also, from a game known as Elite, here is the Amiga version. And for the first time but not the last time on our list, Captain Comic, track 4. And here is the Blue Danube. This is a waltz by Austrian composer Johann Strauss II, composed in 1866 with lyrics being added later. However, Strauss adapted it into a purely orchestral version in 1867, and it became a great success. The instrumental version is by far the most commonly performed today. I don't think the Addams Family, Elite, or Captain Comic are the only 3 games that feature this piece. So if you know any others for any entry on our list today, feel free to let us know. Number 6 is from Cityville 2, The Level Up. You can also find that one on the Hunt for Red October for the SNES. And also Die Hard for the NES. That comes from Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, 4th movement, Ode to Joy. Recently, we did our top 10 Grant Kirkhope themes, and we went through every soundtrack that he has composed for. That led us to Cityville 2, a game that was released in November 2012 and canceled in February 2013. A shelf life of an entire 3 months. I don't know what happened, but that's a shame. There are a few public domain pieces on this soundtrack, so maybe we will get to the others in the future. The games Die Hard and The Hunt for Red October are both based on Hollywood movies, although I only remember Beethoven playing in Die Hard. Number 5, The Adventures of Dr. Franken, the title screen theme. And our double whammy is from Resident Evil. triple whammy is from Earthworm Jim 2, Villi People. And those are all inspired by Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. This piano sonata was written by Beethoven when he was in his early 30s. He finished it in 1801, making it one of the oldest pieces of music in the entire Oddly Familiar series. Like most of the pieces we will talk about today, this has been featured in all sorts of TV shows, movies, and of course video games. One good thing about music is the fact it's universal. No matter what language the composer speaks, the listener can understand clearly through the music. Unlucky number 4. Captain Comic The Adventure on the NES. And here is Final Fantasy V, Piano Lesson 7. And of course we have some Lemmings. Here is Stage 11 on the SNES. All of those take inspiration from Mozart's Turkish March. Coming from Piano Sonata number 11, the last of 3 movements in this piece. First published in 1784, making it the single oldest piece on the list today. It's featured in many different types of media, and IMDb has 1,729 different entries. The first in 1929, and the newest entries coming within the last few weeks. This could be the most popular piece of music on the list, at least when it comes to being used in various types of media. Number 3. The Three Stooges, the title screen theme. And we have a double whammy from Wizards and Warriors, the boss theme. And the triple whammy is Spelunker, when the ghost appears. And here is Misterioso Pizzicato. Also known as the villain or the villain's theme. This piece of music was published in 1914, when it appeared in a collection of incidental photoplay music. Think of it as music for silent films. Now, considering the piece is known as the villain's theme, it makes sense where it was used in at least 2 of the 3 games we mentioned. Spelunker when the ghost villain appears, and in Wizards and Warriors when you reach the boss. The Three Stooges game plays it during the title screen when the Ghostbusters logo is showing. It sort of tricks you into thinking you are playing the wrong game. Number 2 comes from Parodius, the Extra Stage theme. And our double whammy is from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, the Don Flamenco theme. And our triple whammy is from Tetris, multiple themes in the game. And here is the Carmen Overture. Composed by Georges A. Bizet and debuted on March 3, 1875 in Paris, France. The French composer ended up passing away exactly 3 months later on June 3, 1875. The character Don Flamenco was born in France, and this piece is his corner theme. Tetris is known for using music from different regions. The first was from Russia, and now we have France. And the same goes for Parodius. They use music from all over the world. Our number 1 spot is from Aero the Acrobat, the Circus 2 theme. Our double whammy is Captain Comic the Adventure, track 6. And of course, our triple whammy, Nobunaga's Ambition, Tales of the Conquerors, Preparing for War. And that is in the Hall of the Mountain King. Just like our previous entry, this piece is from 1875, so it seems like it was a good year for music. This theme has a bit of a carnival or a festive feel. I can see why Aero the Acrobat used it on one of their circus stages. The Aero the Acrobat theme ends up switching up the melody, and I get the feel it's similar to a remix. The Nobunaga's Ambition theme is different after the initial part of the riff. But Captain Comic brings it all back, and it's pretty much a note-for-note rendition. So of course, these aren't the only games with these classical pieces. We are already gathering themes and have a good amount for a 3rd episode. But leave a comment if you know any, and you may just see it in a future video. We do have a Patreon, so if you would like to go that extra step in supporting the channel, please check out the link in the description. Last, but of course not least, we would like to thank our gold level patrons, Bersona, Quantum X, and Chris Hayes. I'm ICC, thanks for watching, peace.